Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Makakadash. Double honors unto the elder apostles at Great Millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. Now, this is an article that is titled, See How All 50 States Are Reopening and Closing Again. Now, what this is going to do, this is going to start that famine. Well, one of the curses, plagues, that Yahweh Shai warned us about 2,000 years ago. It already happened in 70 AD, but it's going to happen again as the saying of the world goes, and history repeats itself. And we see that all throughout the scriptures that history does repeat itself. And we are almost at full cycle of the end. And then this time Esau will fall, and then we will rise again as a nation. The so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indianos will rise again, the Israelites, and then we will rule the world forever. Ever. Right. Now this is updated on July 1st, 2020. And it says that all 50 states have begun to reopen in some way after the coronavirus thrust the country into lockdown starting March, which is a couple of months ago. We are in July right now. July. So it's a couple of months back. So it says now a growing number of states are pausing plans to reopen amid rising case counts. Several are reimposing restrictions they had lifted earlier. For example, Texas, which closed bars after a spike in cases. Spike in cases of what? This corona thing? Okay. You already should know what the deal is with this thing. I'm going to show you again how they play with the numbers. I'm going to do this one quick. Now it says here, Suriname population. They say that from 1960, you got to watch this one. This one is from Guyana, but I'm not going to look at that one. I'm going to look at this one. Basically 280,000. I'm just going to round it off to a circular number so I can basically, count it better or whatever. You can do it with your calculator. But let's just say 280,000 or maybe even 300,000. Let's just say 300,000. Make it more easier. From 1960 until 2018, it rose like what, 300,000 people. I'm just, from 287,000 to 575,000. So basically it's like what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Basically almost 60 years, because we're in 2020 right now. So almost 60 years, the population just grew, you could say 300,000. From 300,000 until 600,000. That's like 300,000 people in 60 years. I know this is 2018, but then bear with me. Right. So 300,000 people, the population grew in 60 years. That's bullshit, right? Right? Okay. And by the way, Suriname is like 10 times, let me see. It's like 4 times. Suriname is 4 times bigger than the Netherlands. This is approximately 41,000 square kilometer, and this is 163 square kilometers, making Suriname, basically 300% larger than the Netherlands, right? Which is 4 times bigger, right? Something like that. Now, okay, so the population grew 300,000, and then Netherlands. Let me see. In also from 1960, it was estimated that, it says here, check this one. It was basically almost 12 million. Let's keep it at 12. Basically 12, but it is 11.4, 42. Right, 1960. And then, how many years? 60 years later, it says here in 2019, but and it says 17 million, right? So it went up by, you could say, 6 million people in 60 years. So every 10 years, there came 60, sorry, there came 1 million people. Are you fucking crazy? Are you mad, man? Are you mad? So that's why when you go here, when they talk about, which closed bars after a spike in cases, they're talking about the corona cases. And then they had to shut the place down again. You should already know by me showing you that this is nonsense. A small ass itty bitty country like this could grow 6 million people in 10 years. And then a big country like Suriname couldn't even grow freaking 300,000 people in 60 years. Are you kidding me? You already know you got Latin people down there. This is South America, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Latin people down there. You know, where? World map. Let me just click on this one, man. You got the world map, which is here. You should already know that you have people from here and people from here that come over here and establish themselves here and live here. I know this personally. You got people from all over these places come over here and live here. And you already know them Latin people be making a lot of babies. you know, but our people too, like the southern tribes and stuff like that. But that's impossible. It's impossible for them to only grow 300,000 people in 60 years. They're lying to you with numbers. Okay, now you kind of know what that's this bullshit. But the fact is that they still shut them down, and that is going to cause a famine, right? There were already substantial variations in how states are deciding to open up, with some forging far ahead of others. The changes and backtracking, because they're gonna go back to it, reflected immense pressure on the nation's governor to respond to a crippled economy, which is set up, and an anxious public, which are anxious for nothing because there's nothing out there. Even as they're faking it. Even as epidemiologists warn of the potential for a second wave of cases. How the fuck can you know that a second wave is coming? This is a disease. This is not some kind of orchestrated shit. Actually, it is then, because you can't possibly. There's no way on this planet Earth that you can possibly predict a second wave of some kind of virus. It's impossible. It doesn't exist. Viruses are not something that you fucking predict. Because if you did, you would be able to predict the first one, which is not possible. A virus is not going to pop up and say, yo, I'm about to attack. So get your people set up and, stuff like that. Only Edomite viruses pop up like that. And you already know what that should mean. It's a trick. It's a trick. That's what I mean. Right now, the New York Times is tracking when boards reopening are allowed, as well as when reopening plans are paused or reversed. States may shift categories as conditions change, or to account for changes in the national landscape. Even as governors lift orders and allow reopenings, stricter local orders may remain in place. This page will be updated regularly. And then they go tell you what, what different states, Alaska, how they're opening and stuff like that. And, the Afghanistan. Okay, I'm going to leave this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. That was America, by the way, and this is now Europe. You got Europe, which is May 4, 2020, April. They're opening again, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that big of a deal over here, like they're going to reclose. But the devil is warning here also that a second wave may come. Stuff like that. I'm looking at you like... But this is all set up through prophecy, because Europe is gingerly trying to get back to business, with restrictions loosening across the continents as the spread of the Slows. The German spy museum in Berlin opened its doors for the first time in weeks. Bars in central Rome began offering takeaway services, and shaggy haired Austrians flocked to the barber shops in Vienna. If I said that right. With Italy, Spain, Greece, Portugal, and Germany all relaxing some of their restrictions on Monday, Europe is settling down to a new normal as it returns to public life. It's slower and less dynamic than before. That's orchestrated. That's what they want. And some restrictions will remain in place for weeks, even for months. Huh? Or even months, sorry. With face masks ranging from clinical coverings to brightly colored homemade varieties. How the fuck is a homemade shit gonna protect you if they're really about protecting people? And if they're really about protecting people, why are they selling you masks for freaking fucking $40, €40, and €30 and stuff like that? If you want it to be some kind of fancy Sub-Zero looking damn masks. If they really was about protecting people, that shit would be €1. That thing would be free. If they was about protecting you, but they're not. They're about capitalizing on your fear. Right? A ubitocious reminder of the changes. A ubiquitous. Oh, ubiquitous. Right. Now when here of course you have it in Germany. Yeah, I'm not gonna click that. I don't want to. Because they're talking about we respect your privacy. No, you don't. If you really respect my privacy, you wouldn't do anything. You would just fuck off, and then just leave me alone. But they don't respect your privacy. They're just telling you that they respect it, because they're the devil. It's like when the devil is about to say something racist, then the devil says, "I don't mean to be. I'm not racist, but black people always steal." Goddamn devil, you steal continents, you steal oil, and then make a profit off of it, and everybody sees it as something normal because everybody uses the oil in their car, but they don't know that all that oil is stolen. If you have a car, you're actually driving stolen stuff. I mean, you're driving through means of stolen goods, because them oil things over there in, I don't know what it's called, so I said things. Them oil resources over there in the Middle East, they stole that, especially from Iraq and different places where they strong arm people. Also in certain points in Africa where they had a war and then they took it over, and now you hear nothing of it no more. So guess what? You are basically participating in stolen goods, but nobody says anything about that because they're the devil. That's why. Germany opens some shop as Merkel warns of second wave. Well, how the fuck you know a second wave is gonna come? Let me not cuss too much. How you know a second wave is gonna come? Because the cussing is because you're irritated with these devils, and then you just want to cuss them out because they're liars. How you know a second wave is gonna come? That's like me telling you that. Well, we know it through the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot predict a illness except you go up in the scriptures or you make it yourself. Austria and Italy reopen some shop as lockdown eases. So here in Europe, they're not really talking about that the thing is gonna go back. They're gonna close it back. But in America, they're starting that famine. They're starting it. And all these businesses is gonna. Well, I just had that, by the way. Yeah, this. Also, just another thing like that. For me to read your stuff, I need to agree. I don't want to agree. And your rights. What do you mean, my rights? I don't have any, because if I don't, then I have to. If I want to agree to your stuff, then I have to click. Like, I agree. I don't agree. So basically, they take away your rights from just reading. Back in the day, she just got news in the just a newspaper, which was, how you call that, set up news, meaning they pick and choose what you get. But nowadays you can actually look up stuff, and you have different places or different news outlets that you know that you can choose from. So now you can pick and choose the news. So the most of them lie. The ones that tell the truth, they're slowly but surely taking them down. But this is their solution. Huh? Is it stuck? It's stuck. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Anyway, that's why it's stuck. Okay, cool. Right. So this website over here was talking about that. What they want to do is they want to have steak made out of animal feces and stuff like that. And sorry, human feces. And you have, I think it was this. No, that was. Let me see. Everywhere they want you to agree. Anyway. Now here's Japanese scientists create meat from poop. Now this is what they want to do, because they have been doing this since 2011, and they was waiting for a, how you call that thing, a famine type situation to come out. And now they kind of have it, because if they close down all the stores, it's going to start in America, by the way. If they close down all the stores and then reopen it again and then close it again, then that would be like hell for these smaller businesses, because they're not going to be able to look. It says here, reopen or close again. U.S. small businesses dilemma amid pandemic, because if you're a small business, they shut you down and then they open you up again and then they shut you down again. That's bankruptcy. That's 100% bankruptcy, because you almost went bankrupt when they shut you down the first time. Now you get to reopen. You think, you start using more electricity and stuff like that. You start buying in more stuff because you know people about to come and buy your stuff, and then they shut you down again. What you gonna do with all that stuff? Is gonna spoil. What you gonna do with all these flowers? They're gonna spoil, basically, because you don't have money to keep on watering them, because you need money to buy water, to pay for the water bill. So it's not gonna happen. Yana Collins is a consultant with a media background in the United States. The article reflects the author. Wait, right. So it says the article reflects the author's opinion and not necessarily the views of CGTN. Wait, let me see. Right. According to the CNBC, to address this new surge, some states such as Texas and Florida were rolling back their reopening plans by closing bars and limiting business capacity at 50%. So they could only run on 50%, basically, their stuff, which is half. So let's say you get $1,000 a day at your business. Well, now you can only get like $500 a day for that same business, because they're gonna limit you into making progress and stuff like that. So you're gonna go down. And if it's about the food businesses and stuff like that, they are going to, where you can get water and stuff, because this is not a necessary thing. Okay, nobody needs a flower. By the way, these look like sun seeds. Well, it is food to a certain degree. It is food if it's really what I think it is. I don't think it's sunseed, but it looks like it. Right. And, right. So, it's gonna cause a famine, and that's what the Heavenly Father is about to do to these people. Ezekiel 14:12. The word of the Lord came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, which will cause famine, and will send famine upon it. And famine basically means the lack of food. And will cut off man and beast from it, so the animals and man will die. Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, When shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed. The word Christ means anointed. And shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nations. You're going to have basically race riots, which would translate into race wars. Now, even if you have, because I always said this, so it's not something new that I'm about to say. I always said, because in Zechariah 14, verse 1 and verse 2, it shows you that the majority of our people are going to die in these race wars that they're going to have. Listen, if you have a fight, these people, let's say here, America has been in a lot of wars, right? But no war has basically touched America. So does that mean that they didn't go to war? Yes, they did. But they were so advanced and so far from the battlefield, basically, that they brought the war to these other people and they destroyed them, bombed them, and stuff like that, nuked them. But they still were in the war. But they was untouched. So even if you have a one-sided fight, it's still a fight. So you're gonna have nations against nations, which will be race riots, race wars in different places and stuff like that, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right. And the pestilences is gonna come by them feeding you GMO type food, which is Japanese scientists create meat from poop, human feces. Anyone up for some poop burgers? Japanese scientist Mitsuyuki Ikeda, Mitsuyuki, whatever, from the Okayama laboratory, certainly doesn't believe in human waste. May test sewage for coronavirus. It's all over the place now. Really? I don't know. Just this stupid shit caught my eye. I just had to read. It's stupid. It's now in the sewage. Really fucking dope. Fucking joke. It said he thinks that perfectly good protein you're sending out to sea, and he's found a way to extract it. Mix it with the steak sauce and create a fecal feast fit for a really. Yeah, right. So it says here that feast fit for a king. We already used to say back in the days the king of the toilet, and this is literally the king of the toilet. Then that is what you are when you eat this. It's literally shit. It's literally shit. That's what you're gonna be eating. That's what these heathen and these devils want to feed us. And despite the downside of having to add soya to bind it all together, Professor Ikeda thinks there's no reason why we shouldn't all tuck into his third burgers. Why would he even think of it? You might ask. Because Tokyo Sewage asked him to. Ask him to. Tokyo is swimming in sewage mud, it seems, and there's only one way it can save itself, and that's eat it. And these people think they're greater than us. This is their solution. This is their solution. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna feed the people this, man. And this is just Japan, because you have certain places in America where they're gonna start doing these things too. It says here. Let me see. It's called. I'll put all these links in the description box. Food, how altered. It shows you here that BT gene codes from toxic considered to be harmless to humans but lethal to certain insects, including the European corn barber or borer An insect that tunnels into corn stalks and ears of the corn, making it the bane of corn farmers. So if it's lethal to insects, it's lethal to us too. Because just like how you have a mouse, if you have a rat that is bitten by a poisonous snake, that rat actually would basically like live for a few minutes and then it would die. Like a minute or two, and then it would die. Right. But if that same snake bites you, like a full grown man, it would maybe take a whole day to die. So my point with that is that because the body is so small, and that venom would just basically wreak havoc in its body because your body is too small, eventually it will kill you. But that same amount of venom into a larger person, you know, it will take longer. And that same amount of venom into a horse, you already know that a horse is more powerful, so he's much more stronger than you. He can take more punishment concerning bodily injuries and stuff like that. That's gonna take even more longer. The rat will die in a minute or something. The person will die in a day, right? And that horse, it might take him 2 days to die. It might, right? If it's a full grown healthy horse, yeah, I'll give it 2 days before it dies. So the point of me giving that example, I always give that example, is to show you that they're once again being goddamn devils by telling you that it is lethal for certain insects but harmless to people. How the fuck could poison be harmless to people? It kills one individual species of, creatures, but it is harmless to the rest. No, because we all know that these things, what they use on insects, are killers. Let's say, when you swallow Galgate, they say on the package that if you swallow this, report to your local doctor. You're gonna swallow it, man. They're showing you that it is poison, but they got that snake tongue. Something a devil would do. He warns you that it's poisonous, but then he said, "Go ahead, use it, man. It's good for your teeth." But you tell me on the same package, if you swallow a pea amount of this, go to the local doctor and tell him. So what is the doctor going to do? He's gonna pump it out your stomach? Since when anybody went to the doctor to go tell him that he swallowed Galgate, toothpaste? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. And they're counting on that because it's so insignificant that you don't even mind that you're swallowing poison day after day for the rest of your life. Eventually it will catch up on you, but you wouldn't know that it's that because you have been using this little tiny doses of toxins for so long that once you get sick, you would never in your mind think to link it to the toothpaste you're swallowing every day. That's why you shouldn't have toothpaste with fluoride in it. But they make that one more expensive. Isn't that one supposed to be cheaper? I mean, it's one ingredient less, right? It's just one ingredient less, right? Anyway, basically that's it. The point of this video is that they're gonna create, and they are creating it. They're already busy. They're creating the economic system to fall, and then after that, they're gonna start making fake food, altered food, and stuff like that. Who's eating biotech foods? Answer: in all likelihood, you are. So we already are kind of eating biotech food because the food that these people have in the stores, just what are and who is eating them and their risk. These devils are the devil, man. Like, you should know that eating fake food is not healthy for you. all type of diseases is happening to you. um I don't need a study to tell me that GMO food is gonna do this to these mice. And the reason you see these big bubbles up on these mice is because they're small. So these diseases, they can grow faster in their body because they're small. But if you give the same type of food to grown up men and females and stuff like that, just people, or even bigger animals, it's not going to really show that fast. You got to understand, a rat doesn't live that long. How long do rats live? In 2 years. They live 12 months. These live 2 years. Let me see a lab rat. 2.5, 3.5 years. Right? So on there you have it. Basically 4 years, right? So that's a lifetime for these rats. So if something is gonna happen to them, it's gonna happen to them very fast because they, you know, that's like a 50-year-old or something. If the lab rat is like 2 years old, he's at half of his age. You know, 2.5 to 3.5 years is his lifespan. The lab rat. Okay. Right. So basically, this is what is going to happen to people after eating those GMO type foods. And this happens with genetically modified corn causes tumors. They're showing you this. They're literally showing you this. You know? But other scientists skeptical about research. That's why you shouldn't be trusting these goddamn scientists, and they're damned by God. So that's why I say, God damn them. These goddamn scientists. And you got to stay away from that soya too. It says GMO soya, by the way, sorry, GMO soya, because normal soya, it's not that bad. But if you think about it, soya is like the main thing that Asian people eat. Soya foods in Asia, how much do people really eat? It says here, I wanted to look at the important issue of soya consumption in Asia and what you got to be wary of these studies when they study people and stuff like that. They got soya beans, soya food, soya flavones or whatever, roasted whole soya flour. They have soya sprout. They have a lot of soya type of soya based food in Asia. And what does soya do? Soya has estrogen, a lot of it. So if you want your daughter to have big hips and big breasts, well, it's not actually gonna help with because it's not helping with them. That's why you see females in China all flatboard, because it's their DNA. But if you already have a DNA potential to actually grow hips and breasts, then this thing would actually do them actually a favor. You know. So the point is that's why you see a lot of men in Asiatic countries. They don't have no beards because they eat a lot of this. And even if they move to Europe and move to America and stuff like that, they still don't really grow beards. You know, but back in the Kung Fu age and stuff like that, they could not Kung Fu age. I mean Kung Fu era. You know, the movies. Cause that shit ain't real. But the movie stages and stuff like that, you saw them with bigger beards. And you know, the samurai stages, that was real. Quite frankly, they never really had beards. This is fake. Plus, it's an Edomite. They never really had beards. But I think this guy, yeah, this guy has a beard. Because I think I remember him. I remember this one too. You know, these are real people with real beards. You know, so I remember that. And Black Samurai, I remember him. He was the first samurai, by the way. First Israelite samurai. And off of him are the rest based. Yeah, but you get the point. You get the. I hope you get the point. Back in the days, they had like beards and stuff like that. You know, they wasn't feminized. Nowadays, you know, you got the K-pop. You got these type of things. Fashion men. You hear the word fashion men. You already should laugh. You know, you got these Japanese boys looking like this. That's why Esau tried to go to Japan. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at it. God damn. Look at this. This guy has his eyebrows lined up. Why you think they... Man, I ain't gonna even talk too much about this shit, man. I just wanted to say, why you think Esau loved going to Japan? Why you think? Look at this shit, man. Why you think their Asian females always have Edomite boyfriends? Look at them. You don't know if this is a bitch or not. You have no. You don't know what the fuck is going on with these people, with these boys. Anyway, so that's what happens there over there concerning the food. You know, the soya type things. The point is, it's gonna mess you up, man. You got engineered soya bean, corn, canola, and stuff like that. Baking powder, the corn. All these things are fake. Who's eating biotech? Most likely, basically, you. Us. We shall eat our food defiled among the heathens. Are biotech foods safe for humans? Why would you ask a devil? Yes, as far as we know. What does that mean? That you should say, I don't know. What do you mean, yes, as far as we know? You should just scratch this off and say, as far as we know. That would even be a better lie. But saying yes, that's like that's an oxymoron. That's like me saying, I'm sure she's most likely there when you go there to meet her. Huh? You're sure she's most likely there? Or, I'm sure she's probably there when you go there. I'm sure she's probably home. What? Well, that is that answer that he just gave you here. That's what he answered. Risks exist everywhere in our food supply. And then you give this answer? Snake tongue devil alert. Snake tongue devil alert. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video real quick. I didn't make it quick. Sorry about that. But then, the point is that what they're doing, they're systematically breaking down the economy by hand, by closing these stores and then reopening them again, and then closing them again, and that will make sure that even the last independent little strongholds or whatever you want to call it, them little shops, them small businesses, even they're gonna basically get destroyed. And then they're gonna introduce these foods, these fake foods. Is that right? Yeah, I don't want to agree. These fake foods. You know, sometimes they got good information, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that because it's still irritating, and it shows you that they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know, they're giving you always giving you two-faced lies And yeah, and then they tell you that they're gonna respect your privacy, but they are doing this like it says here, media and our partners to use. Check this out. Click I agree to allow Verizon Media and our partners to use cookies and similar technology. Similar? What the what? To access your device and use your data, including location, so they're gonna know where you are, to understand your interests. You don't need to understand anything. And provide and measure personalized ads. I don't want that. You need to pay for your ads. You know what the thing is, why they want you to click on this shit? Because you have stupid sites and people fall for this dumb shit. Because I went to America one time and I saw every 15 minutes I saw a commercial. So I flipped the fuck. I was like, what? This is not normal. Every 15 to every 10 minutes there's a commercial in an hour movie. So if you watch a movie for an hour, man, you would never watch television again. I didn't when I went there, and that was in what, like in 2000 something. It was 1 year or the year. It was 1 year before the 9/11 thing. Right. So I went there and I saw this nonsense, and I said like, so why are there so many commercials here on the television? You know what the dumb aunt of mine said? Stupid. She's stupid. She said, yeah, they show these commercials so we don't have to pay for the cable type thing. And I was like, you already pay for cable. You already pay for the television. Why do you need to pay extra to why they still show them ads? You know why? Because they're getting paid and they don't want the tap for themselves. So then they let you pay. Because if you got the YouTube Premium, that's why they set up YouTube Premium. They said you set up YouTube Premium to take away the ads. What is YouTube Premium? What is included in YouTube Premium? YouTube Premium costs $12 fucking dollars. These goddamn devils want to play around again. It's Satan. It's Satan. They're fucking with you. That's what the devil does. They deceive you. Costs $12 a month and includes ad-free videos. So you're paying them. Because if you do the regular on a YouTube, they're gonna bombard you with ads. It's gonna irritate you, and then you're gonna want to be taking this one. But the thing is, the ads then basically are a way of them getting paid, because the people that have ads on their videos and stuff like that are the people that so the company is paying them to put these commercials on their videos. That's what it is. It's not that they can't do it without it, because YouTube didn't have ads back in the days. The option to continue playing videos or music in the background. I could just do that shit by typing pause and do my own thing, go to the toilet, and then come back and type pause again. Or press. Meaning the audio will continue if you minimize the app. I can already do that. Music and video downloads, I can already do that. That's why they make it hard for me to do it now, because they have all these code. They made a new code on YouTube that you can't easily download their stuff like back in the days with one click. Anyway, and access YouTube original movies and TV shows. Netflix already has that. What are you talking about? You know? And I don't need no damn TV shows or movies. I don't need that. I have other places to do that. But what they want to do is they just want to cash in some money. And all this shit is going to stop anyway. Because, especially with the stores, because what they're doing is they're systematically shutting down all these stores, reopening them again, and then closing them again. That's going to be a financial breakdown for all these people. So I'm going to leave it with this. Now, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, and out of Judah an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there, and Sharon shall be a fold of flocks, and the valley of Anchor, these are places by the way, and the valley of Anchor a place for the herds to lie down in, for my people that have sought me. And we are seeking the Heavenly Father right now, especially in these messed up times. But before that, we was already seeking him, right? But ye are they that forsake the Lord. These are the ones that actually forsook the Lord, that forgot my holy mountain, that prepared a table for that troop, and that furnished the drink offering unto that number. Therefore, so they was worshiping other entities and stuff like that. They was also loving Egypt too much. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. But did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right? What is it? Right. Now, this is how the Heavenly Father is going to take care of us, right? Because we have faith. Now, this is Matthew 6:26. Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not. Right. They don't go out there and sow seeds and wait for it to grow and stuff like that, right? Neither do they reap. Right. They don't go out there and reap, which is oasting. I don't know how you call it, but that was Dutch, by the way. Yeah, gather crops and stuff like that. That's the better way I could say it. Reap. When you reap, this is reaping. Right. Basically, this is reaping too. This is reaping. Reaping weed. Let me get that one. Reaping weed. This is what you do when you reap weed. You know, when it's done, then you go out there and then you start chopping it and stuff like that, and then you put it in heaps, and then you can make bread. You can do whatever. You can make dough. This is reaping, right? You can make bread and dough and stuff like that. Basically, food. You can feed yourself with this. This is reaping too. This is the outcome of all that food, the outcome of all that work that you sowed. This is the sowing, and basically the end result of that is the reaping. Right, let me see if I got another one. I think this one is sowing, and then when it's done, then you finna be reaping. Look how beautiful this is, man. See, we're gonna get all this back, and these houses, we're gonna just wipe them off. And then we're going to build big man. No, we're not. They're going to do it for us as our servants, which is a fancy word of saying slave. Right, now it says, behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? So the Father is going to feed us, especially the ones that he loves. And the rest, they're just going to die, because the Father said they don't want to listen. They did evil before his eyes. That's why the Most High said basically he's going to kill them with the sword and with the famine. You know? And it's going to be a delight unto him to kill you because you didn't listen. And it's going to be a delight unto him to actually save his elect. His elect shall inherit the land, and his servants shall dwell in the land, which is his elect. Right, so with that, I'm going to say shalom.